Pillars of Eternity 1 Complete Edition Guide, Companion Pallegina build, full Paladin from 1 to 16. This build was made to work on Pot of the Dam difficulty, and if it works on the hardest difficulty available, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's not waste time, let's go. First, let's say a few words about a Paladin. Paladin provides auras for the entire party. The entire team benefits out of Paladin auras, and that's the biggest strength. Also, Paladin is probably the best single target damage in the game. Paladins are not flat tanks, they're also not squishes. They belong to bruisers, and that's what Pallegina is. A bruiser. I'm gonna give you two builds with Pallegina, one with a greatsword and the other one with Estak. So your choice how you wanna play her. Now, as far as Pallegina goes, we're gonna ramp up 7 points into survival and everything else will go into athletics, and that would be the entire philosophy around skills and skill checks. Survival, pretty simple. We want damage reduction tier 2, and from athletics we want second wind as high as possible. So on level 2, the very first talent that we're gonna take is Intense Flames. Burn damage on Pallegina. Paladins deal a lot of burn damage. On level 3, we're going with survival and with athletics, and we say next. For the first aura, or better to say for the focus, we're gonna take Zealous Focus, additional chance to hit with additional accuracy for the entire team. On level 4, we're sticking with survival and with athletics. For the talent, on level 4, we're going into utility and we're taking Scion of Flame, so we deal even more damage with burn. On level 5, we're taking survival and we move on. And now the biggest power spike for Pallegina would be on level 5, and that would be Sworn Enemy. Single target, one-shot skill. From level 5 to level 10, you will one-shot most of the enemies, even on Pot of the Dam difficulty with Sworn Enemy. That's how great it is. On level 6, we're taking athletics, and now we're gonna upgrade Sworn Enemy with Wrath of the Five Suns. And this is when the real pain starts. On level 7, we're taking survival, 7 points into survival. Now we got damage reduction tier 2, and now all of the rest of these points until the very end will go into the athletics. For the Paladin ability, we're taking coordinated attacks for extra accuracy, better chance to hit for you and for Paladin when attacking the same enemy. On level 8, we're going with athletics, and now we're gonna take critical focus talent for extra chance to crit. On level 9, we're sticking with athletics. And for the ability, we're taking Hastening Exhortation for extra attack speed. It's great on bruisers, on ranged characters. You can buff up a lot of allies at the start of every combat. It's absolutely great ability. On level 10, sticking with athletics, and now we're going into offensive branch and we're gonna pick accuracy. So if you plan to play with a greatsword, these are two different builds, everything else remains the same basically. If you plan to play with greatswords, you will pick weapon focus soldier. If you plan to play with two-handed Estaks, you're gonna pick adventurer. And that's the entire difference between these two builds that I'm giving. Okay, in this case, we're gonna play Pallegina with a greatsword, so we're gonna take soldier. You're not wrong if you go with Estak. There's great Estaks in the game, especially for a Paladin. I would actually recommend playing with Estak. On level 11, we're taking athletics, and now we're gonna take the boss killing ability, and that would be Deprive the Unworthy. It suspends all positive effects for 26 seconds. You disable enemies for 26 seconds, they're sitting ducks, and this is a great boss killer spell. So Deprive the Unworthy for the Paladin ability. On level 12, we're sticking with athletics, we say next. And now, into offensive, we're going with two-handed style for extra 15% damage as a passive. Because either way, if you picked Estak or if you picked Greatsword, they're both two-handers. melee weapons. Yeah, on level 13, we're gonna keep the points for athletics on the next level, and for the Paladin ability, we're taking the absolutely best AoE damage spell on a Paladin in late game, and that would be Sacred Immolation. Flat burn damage. It combines extremely well with itemization, with other burn talents that we took, and now Pallegina will burn all enemies around her. Sacred Immolation it is. On level 14, we're sticking with athletics, keeping the points for the next level. And now, into defensive talents, we need to take some defenses on a Paladin. She is gonna go into melee range, okay, tanking up enemies and so on, so she has to be a bit tankier. We're gonna take Superior Deflection for extra protection on Pallegina this time. On level 15, we're going with athletics, we say next. And for the final talent, we're gonna learn Behold the Martyr, Revive on a Paladin, very useful to have. On the final level, level 16, we don't have any more points for athletics, we don't have any more points for survival, so what we're gonna do now is put a bit of into stealth, everything else into lore, and this is how we finish up the skills with Pallegina. For the final talent, we got plenty of useful talents, including Savage Attack, Bloody Slaughter, Vulnerable Attack, Cautious Attack, and of course, Apprentice Sneak Attack, Vielo Vidorio, and Deep Fate. No matter what you take, you won't be wrong, okay? Everything is valid. I would say to go with Deep Fate for extra defenses, because she's already offensive enough. You need to make her alive longer during the battle. So, how do we play Pallegina? We go into Sneaking Mud and we open up with a sworn enemy, burst an enemy immediately at the start of combat. Then, while others buff, summon and so on, you wanna use Sacred Immolation on Pallegina, prepare the burn damage, constant burn damage AoE around her, and then you can either debuff an enemy that you want or go and buff an ally with extra attack speed. This is your choice. Of course, do not forget to trigger Zealous Form. And that's about it. You enter the fight and you whack someone with Flames of Devotion. That's how we play Pallegina, very simple to play, yeah. If someone drops dead, you can always revive them with Behold the Martyr. When you're low, you can always use the Second Wind. Itemization on Pallegina. If you plan to play with a great sword, the best by far would be Tidefall, followed closely by the Tema Peracle, and of course the Horus of St. Rumbald. These three great swords are extremely valid on Pallegina, and the best one by far would be the Soulbound great sword, St. Edwin Redeemer. Of course, now your choice what sword you wanna use. I recommend Tidefall. Okay, if you opted in to play Pallegina build with S-Stack, so weapon focus on S-Stack, then the best S-Stack by far that you can grab early on would be Drake's Bell. Absolutely the best S-Stack early on. Mid-game, of course, it's Blade of Endless Pots and the White Spire. You can also get it early on. All three of these S-Stacks are extremely valid on Pallegina, especially the Drake's Bell, because it merges extremely well with her burn damage. And of course, there is the Soulbound, the Grey Sleeper, the best S-Stack in a game from the White March. Now, your choice what weapon you want to use. You got 4 great swords and 4 S-Stacks. Pick what you like, everything is valid. As far as armor goes, Pallegina is great with light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. Your choice what you wanna do. I recommend Riona's breastplate from the White March DLC. It's definitely the best armor on Pallegina. Early on, of course, you can use her own breastplate, as well as the Black Warden breastplate and Hand and Key. These are great armors on Pallegina. As far as light armor goes, the best one for Pallegina is Raiment of Veil's Eyes. Because of the mirror image, it provides insane amount of defense on Pallegina. And as far as heavy armor goes, it's of course Coat of Ill Payment because of extra retaliation. Now, pick what you like. If you go light, you're gonna attack faster. Medium, slightly slower attacks. Heavy armor, mega slow attacks. And that's about it. What about the rest of the items? Definitely the belt, absolutely the best belt in the game on Pallegina is the belt of the Royal Deathfire Cannoneer. It gives her everything that she actually needs as a paladin. This belt was made for a paladin. It gives everything on fire. Firebrand, Flame Shield, Torrent of Flame. It's absolutely nuts. Okay, because again, you can trigger Torrent of Flame. You can grab the crazy Firebrand sword. All of that comes with a belt. So this belt, if it was made for a companion in a game, it was made for Pallegina. Definitely for Pallegina. As far as rings go, it's very simple. Flat deflection ring, flat fortitude reflex will. For the gloves, we have Siegebreaker gauntlets for extreme good amount of resolve. And of course, clear out, sweep. Extra damage on Pallegina, yeah. For the cape, we got Perception for Pallegina to hit more often. And for boots, we got Paladin boots. Boots of Zael's Command, Zael's Aura, area of effect is bigger. Those would be the two builds for Pallegina, Great Sword Pallegina and Estak Pallegina. Your choice how you wanna play her, whether you want a light armor, medium, heavy armor, everything is valid basically, as long as she remains as a burn damage paladin, because everything scales out of burn for Pallegina. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.